Hello, my name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. and I was born July 4th, 1986. I'll say thank you for tuning in to try to figure out some more about your dog. Cause something I want to say today that's really going to, in reality, kind of just go against everything that everyone's probably being told and everyone's preaching out there about how to have a nice dog and how to be able to do nice with the dog. And that's something I want to talk about today is being able to have a separation of work and play. You know, there's something that I heard years and years and years ago from a man named Jim Rohn that really put a lot of thought in me. He says, when you go to work, go to work. When you go to the beach, go to the beach. But don't try to go to the beach bringing the work, and don't try to be bringing the beach over at your work. It's going to confuse things, complicate things. There's no reason to be bringing jokes around in the workplace. It's work. We got to get some stuff done. It's something I want people to think about with your dog. When you want your dog to, say, do something that you're looking for him to do, such as go for a walk, or I don't want to use the word work with our dogs just hanging and being. I want to use the word hanging and being. Because that's more like what it is. When I'm just sitting in the house watching TV, the dog's just hanging. When I'm just going for a walk to make the dog go potty or just be on a leisure walk for myself, we're just hanging and being. When I want my dog to lay down, when I want to conversate with somebody, we're just hanging and we're just being. We're not working. We're just living. We're just experiencing. So there's two sides I want to say here. There's the play side and the hanging and the experiencing side. And don't mix the two. This is where we're having problems. We want to try to bring play into just hanging and being, thinking that play is going to be able to get us hanging and being better. And that's just not the way that this works. It's just not the way that anything in reality on this planet just really works. It may be all right, but it's not going to be the best at the end of the day. You have to focus on each part to make sure that it's going to be the best. If you're at work playing, you're not getting really good work done. It's really, really sloppy. It's really, really complicated. It's not going to be your best of the best. But if you just spend all your time at work, you're gonna shine. And this is where, a lot of people, if you stumble and fumble at work right now, put your phone down and just go to work. Get your work done. And you notice what usually used to take you 8 to 10 hours, it take you 2 to 3 hours to get done. If you actually just focus and get it done. And that's what the deal is with these dogs. We're trying to do what this new training stuff says to be able to have a happy, healthy, fun, successful experience with your dog, is to play your dog into doing its hanging out, chilling, do its work. So you want to try to get your dog to walk with you, so we should play games. You want to get your dog to sit, we should play games. You want your dog to go into the crate, we should play games. This is the part where I go completely against and completely away from. Because when I want to go for a walk, I want to just go for a walk. I don't want to incorporate games into this walk. I just want to walk so that my walk is really, really nice. If I'm bringing a game with the walk, we got two conflicting things going on here. Where no longer is the dog worried about just the simple walk. Now the dog is worried about this extreme level of play to be able to incorporate into with this walk. And if that's complicated for a human being, just know that this is extremely complicated for a dog to be able to understand. So something that I want to clarify with what I'm talking about with this is I'm not saying don't play with your dog. Get your Frisbee out, get your ball and toy out, get your tug out, and play with your dog in a play session. Do the obedient stuff if you want to play with your dog to do that. But do not think that what you're doing there is going to translate into your hanging out world. It doesn't work that way. You have to continuously stay in that play mode to be able to have your dog do what it is that you're doing in that play mode. So if you're teaching your dog play with treats, the same way, guys. Treats, toys, all the praise, it's all the same at the end of the day. If you're getting your dog to sit with the toy, with the treats, just know that pretty much every single time, of course, not 100%, but saying sit and watch your dog just do it beautifully, you're going to have to set that game up every single time to have your dog look that exact same way and give you that same high level of enthusiasm and be very, very agreeable, which is he does it and he does it really, really nice with no pushback, with no I said do it and sit, 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 not having to say 50 times, but the dog just does it. Now, when you don't have that scenario, that game put forth, that game in there, the treats involved with it, just know that the dog is not going to perform that exact same way, if perform at all. And this is where I think a lot of people are struggling because you're setting up the games thinking that the games are going to give you what I'm going to say is real world results. And it's not. The games give you games. The real world gives you real world. And we're mixing the two. And that's why we're struggling. So the one thing that I'm going to say is, if you're sitting on the couch hanging out and your dog comes to you with the toy, why are you mixing the two? You want to chill and hang out. And you're allowing your dog to be able to play and get into these games. So it's going to be very, very hard to convince that dog to chill and hang out when you're sitting there playing with the dog. It's going to be very, very hard to get the dog to understand to just walk and be with you. and stay with you and just pay attention to you when you go for walks, when you're having extra in the mix, such as treats, such as toys, such as silly extra games that you're trying to put to convince the dog to be able to walk with you, as opposed to just going for a walk. And I don't know what has made it that people just feel so incapable of just simply grabbing a leash and taking a dog for a walk. I wonder what has made it that we feel that we can't do that as human beings anymore. But I'm telling you, if you put a leash on a dog and you go for a walk day after day, week after week, month after month, you're going to notice that things start to get better because there's not going to be any trickery going on here. You're not competing against anything, but just going for a walk. And this is where I think that we're failing the most because I see it over and over and over again. When you're in the training game scenario setup, the dog looks amazing. My dog Johnny, he looks I bring treats out, and I could put this dude in a TV show. Like, this dude can look so on it, so perfect, so amazing, so beautiful. But the second that I don't have that treat, I say Johnny down. His down is no longer this perfect looking, beautiful thing. He does this beautiful looking downs when I have the treats, but when I don't, he's just like, it's not the same. And the intensity that I'm just like, hey, sit. He's just like, I'll get there when I get there. And for me, I used to, in reality, get frustrated at that. And you know what happens when you get frustrated? When you're doing that with your dog like that? You start to get even more pushback because now the dog knows, I know how to get you to move. I know how to get you to react. I know how to get you to do something that I want. And that's not the way that we should be living with dogs. And that's why you need to change up everything that you're doing with, if you want them to be able to do with just you and your voice and your being, then start it that way and keep on working on it that way over and over and over again. Stop thinking that you have to do some extraness to try to convince the dog to do something. Again, sit, down, place, crate. All these things are basic, simple, low-level things for a dog to be able to comprehend and understand. Trust me, they can open up doors. They could. I just seen a video today of a dog. They're teaching dogs to drive. Not this fake stuff, but they actually have the pedals. They got the whole shebang for the dogs, that they could drive a car. Like, they could do some very complex things. And in those complex things, that's where you're going to want to get them jazzed up, give them the treats to do this, to do this, and do this. But in reality, 99% of people have zero care, zero desire, zero want to do any of that with your dog. You simply want your dog to sit when you say sit. You simply want your dog to get off of you when they're jumping on you to get off of you. You simply want to be able to go for a walk. With these simple things, we do not need what is known as complex games. You just need to just simply do it and just see that it keeps getting better day after day after day after day after day. Again, you can make it look like you got to figure it out today. Today, you give him the treat, you tell him to sit, and he sits. He's like, oh, see, he knows how to do it. No, he don't know how to do it. I'm promising you that. I'm going to slap a promise on that. He don't know it. Because the second that you try to tell that dog to do it when it doesn't want to do it, or you don't have what it wants in that moment, it's not going to do it. And then that's where you're going to start to see the real true dog. And that's why, for me, the number one thing that I'm going to say about the whole down command, if your dog doesn't know how to do it with the leash and you put in leash pressure down, I'm telling you, your dog doesn't know it. And the second that you apply leash pressure to that dog to try to get it to go down and it's not on board with you, you're going to see that true dog. That dog's going to fight you. That dog, and dang nears, I've seen this, and I've seen it in my face a few times, the dog's biting people. Not to the point that it went crazy or anything, but they just they start nibbling on you like, no, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. That's showing you who that true dog is. Just having that treat and making them do stuff, the dog will do it when that treat and when that game, when that toy is involved. But when it's not, that's when you're struggling. So I'm not saying not to play with your dog. I'm just saying stop playing with your dog to get them to do basic things that you need every day, all day. And that's where I'm seeing just a huge disconnect of people having any sort of real-world results. You're getting the fake results. The stuff that looks nice when you're behind closed doors in your house, or you're behind closed fence, behind in your backyard, and sometimes even in your front yard, depending on how big of a neighborhood you live in. You got really, really good looking dog. But when you take your dog to, say, Home Depot, the dog is flipping out, it's going wild, it's trying to meet everybody, it's trying to jump on everybody, it's trying to go everywhere, it can't calm down, it's super stressed, it's panting, it's barking at everything, it's just going wild. But then you can bring out the treats, and then the dog seems like, it appears to be, it's calming down. Where it's like, hey, now the dog is listening to me. It's not, that's where I'm going to say again, you're getting the fake results because you're not getting the true dog. And the dog will understand, okay, we go to the Home Depot, you give me the treats, I'll listen to you. But now when you go to the park, now he's no longer going to listen to you. Now when there's something that is more valuable to that dog in that dog's perceived mind that is more important than that treat that you have, your treat is worthless. Your treat is no longer going to work, and you're wondering why. Why is my dog not listening to me? He's listened to me all the times, but right now, he's not listening to me. Right now, he's pulling again. Right now, he's jumping again. Right now, he's doing all this stuff again. But he wasn't doing it just 10 minutes ago, because that's where I'm going to say the lies are. You have a fake dog. You have a fake performing dog that's not actually doing because it actually wants to for you. It's doing it because of what's best out of it for itself. And it's running and ruling the relationship. But when you're playing with the dogs to get them to do these things, that's what you're constantly just running into. The dog will be, the only way I can say is agreeable. The dog is like, I'll do this because this is fun. But as soon as it's not, as soon as something else out there is better, as soon as it has something that you're competing against, you're going to see back again, day one, your true dog that you thought you had good working month after month with doing all these treats and doing all these games and doing all this stuff. You thought you had a really nice dog, and you're going to see it just disappear right in front of your eyes when something else out there is more valuable to your dog. And every single day, everywhere you go, every scenario, you're going to find something that is going to be more greater than that treat or that toy in your hand. And at the same time, more greater and more valuable than the prong collar on your dog, than the e-collar on your dog, than even a slip leash on your dog. You can't rely upon these pieces of equipment to think that that is why my dog is going to listen to me. That's where all the confusion is going on today. That we're relying on this stuff instead of relying on the relationship between me and dog for the dog to be able to do good and be good. And just make stuff happen for me. And that's why for me, I train and I work and I stay and I function with my dogs primarily in the state that I am in primarily all of the day, which is, I'll say, the hanging and just relaxing stage. I'm not in that high energy, just going crazy and going wild stage. I am for a few of my dogs for a little bit of a time, but that's not the overall what I'm looking for from all of my dogs. That's why for me, I want to spend all that time in that so that I can work on the real dog all day long. And not this fake, phony, looks good in the moment, but it's not actually good at the end of the day. That's where we're just stumbling because we're putting these games in the middle where games don't need to be. We're mixing fun with work. We're mixing these two, and this is why you're struggling. This is why you can't get focused. This is why you have no clarity. This is why you have nothing that is able to just give you concrete results that you just feel confident everywhere you go with everything you got going on. You feel like you need this. And I mean, some of y'all, I can see y'all out here walking, man. You got a whole storefront on your bean. You got your fanny packs with all your toys in it. You got your vest. You got all kinds of stuff on you in hopes that the treat don't work. Oh, I got this. Oh, that don't work. I got this. Oh, if that don't work, I got this. I got this. I got this. I got this. You got everything. And your dogs are still blowing you off, not listening to a single thing you say. And then you see a guy like me walk by, just walking his dogs. And you're just like, what the heck is that guy? He ain't got nothing on him. Why is he doing that? Because I work on that every day. Nothing on me. Let's go for a walk. Nothing on me. This is what we're doing. Nothing on me. I want you to sit. Nothing on me. I want you to down. Nothing on me. I want you to get in the crate. Nothing on me. I want you to stay with me and lay down and hang out while I'm sitting out here playing at the park right now. I don't play at the park, but I watch other people play. I don't even watch other people play. If I go to the dang on park, and if I'm standing there and my daughter's playing on the park, that's a better way of putting it. It sounds kind of weird if I'm playing on the park. But it's just very, very confusing because that's where I spend all of my time. I spend all of my time on just the what I want all day, not the fake illusions of it. And that's something that it gets stuck in a lot of people where you're confused because you're like, how can I have a nice dog if I'm not giving them treats all the time? How can I have a nice dog if I'm not even telling them good boy and good girl all the time? How can I have a nice dog if I'm not just breaking in for a play session every 15 seconds? And I'm saying to you, you definitely can. And somehow in all the translation of everything that's been going on has been defeating people to think that you are capable of doing simple things. Everything on this planet today is going to this super high complex type situation. And this high complex stuff is to simplify our lives. But yet it's actually not at the end of the day. It's more complicating our lives as opposed to just making it to be what it is. Simple. Simple. Get up, get dressed, and go make some stuff happen. Simple. But no, it's no longer that simple. Now we got to check this and do this and lock this and do this and make this and go over here and fix this and do this. We got all this extra stuff going on as opposed to just being simple. This is why every year, everything I do out here is I throw a whole bunch of stuff away and donate and give away a whole lot of things because I realize I'm not using it or it's slowing me down because I just want to go back to simple. Simple, simple, simple. You just wake up, camera malfunction. We definitely got something new coming in a couple days, so hopefully that'll be able to fix this situation going on with this. But life being simple, it's the same thing I can say with this camera, just simple. I got everything, I got all kinds of crap here hooked up, and I'm realizing that I don't need all that. I just need something even more simple to make it work. And we're going towards all this complicated stuff, these complicated things, and we're not getting any sort of actual real world nothingness because that's just a thing with all of everything. I can slap it all with that. Everything has been created and everything on this planet. We are all and everything is all very simple, very simple. The more we try to add all this extra stuff to it, the more things start to get complicated. The way more. And that's what we are doing as human beings today. 100 years ago, we didn't have nowhere near the stuff that we have today. And you can say, as a overall statistically staying set, we have more people that have more anxiety, more of this, more needing this, and more needing that, more on this, just more. As opposed to being less and less. You know, you would think that because we have the super fancy phones and stuff that our life should be easier, right? But it's actually not. It's way more complicated. Way more complicated. Since the year, what was it, 96 when we started getting internet in our house? And then in about, what was it, like 2002, 2004, when our phones started getting really, really good? Everything was so different before then. But now today, the amount of like beeps and dings and things and this and that and this all on your phone, it's overwhelming. It's so overwhelming that I just shut it all off on my phone and I have nothing on there. There's not a notification. I'm sometimes being like, you don't even call me right now. Unless you got something serious you need happening right now, you can call me. But if it's just some simple things like don't even call me, like that's how, because things are getting so complicated, so complex that are supposed to be simple. And that's all I want to do is explain to everyone. So let's go back to the simple stuff, please. The simple stuff, you're going to have the simple, good results that you're looking for. The complicated stuff is not going to get you there. It's just not going to get you there. And that's the part where we're trying to do this trickery with let's have some play with our work. We don't want to mix the two. You want to go play, go play. Grab your ball, grab your tug, and go play and have just the fun, have the zero expectations that what you see out of that play is what you're going to get in real world. Just do the play, have fun. Just get the stress away. Just let it all go. Your dog does this amazing sits, amazing downs, amazing heel work, amazing recall, amazing stuff. Just have that over there. And just have that. And that's what we do. But don't think that, oh, I trained him now. Now I'm done. Now he's going to do that over here as well when we just are hanging out. That's where I'm going to say the majority of everyone is struggling right now, because that's not the way it works. You train the play, you have the fun. Now you need to train the real, to have the true fun that you as a human being want. The fun that you're doing with your dog, sometimes some of the fun is fun. I like playing with my dogs sometimes, playing fetch and certain things. It's fascinating to watch them run and see what they do. So I do get enjoyment out of it, but in reality, the dog is getting way more fulfillment out of that than you are. And then the relaxing hanging outside, the dog's not getting as much as fulfillment, but I am. I'm getting the ease of access, the ease of life to be able to just simply communicate to my dog and just say, you know, we're not playing right now. We're not doing that right now. Just lay down, just relax. You're not hassling me right now. You're not going to come and give me that ball and shove it in my lap over and over to force me to want to play with you. You're not going to be all on top of me. I'm trying to eat my bag of chips right now. Just let me eat my chips. Just let me do what I do. Like that's where I want my ease of access. And the stuff that you do in play is not going to translate to real. And please, somebody just show me. Show me that you're having long-term results with being able to do such a thing. That you started with play, and now it's a year, 2 years later, I no longer need to play to be able to get my dog to function and to be able to go places and be good to go. Because all I constantly keep seeing over and over and over from every single trainer out here is a dog that you are doing the play to get the dog to understand sit, doing the play to get the dog to heel, and 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, you are still doing the play to get the dog to maintain that position when you take him out in public to go for walks. You are still struggling with competing things that are just getting your dog's attention away from you. You're still struggling with your dog just wanting to just take off and go run after things. You're still struggling with these things, and you're still having to play these games 5 years later. Who wants to keep up with that? Who wants to do that? And that's what you want to know before you sign up for what you're doing is what am I going to get in the end? And that's something that, again, I could talk about this for days right here of how we as a people are messing up. We're messing up with the simple concept of not asking what the end result is going to look like before we jump into something. We're just jumping in. We're just getting into it. We're just like, I just want to do this because this is what everyone else is doing, right? Everyone else is doing this, so I want to get in on that. Not realizing what are we going to have to deal with in the end. Is what I want in the end worth what I'm doing right now? Or is I want to do something completely different so that I don't have to do what I see everybody else doing? And again, at the same time, don't feel like I have to do what everyone else does. Or I'm a bad person, I'm a this. Because that's the language that they use today. The language that someone would say, the kind of trainer that I am with how I work with my dogs is, I'm a force trainer, I'm an abuser, I don't know if you could say that I neglect my dogs. I don't think you could slap that one on me at least. But you probably say I'm definitely an abuser. I'm mean. I must beat my dogs. All this stuff. And that's the language that they put out there when someone, this is so sad to me and how life works. The better your stuff looks, the more hate that you get across the board with what everyone's got to say about you. But if your stuff looks crazy, everyone's like, oh, he's good, he's great, everything's fine. That's just the reality of life. And we're jumping into things and allowing people to be able to use these manipulative words to you to make you think that what you're doing is not the right thing. And not doing the right thing is more likely the right thing that you should be doing, is going against what everything and everybody out here is doing. Because if I could just I do surveys all the time with myself, and just asking questions and asking other people questions. You do a survey yourself right here, right now. You call, this is complicated for me because I don't even know 10 people to, but since I work with dogs, this is easy for me to do a survey. But you call 5 to 10 people that you know have dogs and ask them, how's it going with their dog? And out of these 5 to 10 people, you might get one that, they might even lie and say, oh, it's great, it's awesome, it's wonderful. Then you see them, you see the dog, and you're just like, dude, this dog is crazy. Like, what do you mean it's all right, everything is fine? But more than likely, out of those 5 to 10 people, 5 to 10 of those people are going to say, man, my dog's a hot mess. I can't get it to stop barking at the UPS guy driving by every day. I can't get it to stop barking when someone is at the door dropping a package off. I can't get him to stop barking at everybody when we take him out for a leash. Take him out in public on leash. I can't get him to stop. I can't get him to stop. I can't get him to stop. I can't get him to stop stealing food from me. I can't get him to stop jumping on me. I can't get him to stop all these things. That's what 5 out of 10 people that you call, pretty much almost 100% of these people, because if you only do a small batch like that, almost every single one of those people, I'm going to almost guarantee you that they're all going to say that about their dog. So if that's what everyone's getting with their dog, why are we still doing this stuff? Why are we still thinking that that's the way? And then out of those 5 out of 10 people, ask them, have you paid, not no free stuff, but have you paid money for a specific person that calls himself to be a professional to help you, to get you into a better place? And out of those 5 out of 10 people, more than likely, 4 out of 8 of those people are going to say, yeah, I did. And they're going to say, now what happened? What's going on? And we just don't know. And the main thing is that we get stuck as human beings because we allow someone to say this to you, oh, you didn't keep up with it. That's why your dog's not better. You didn't keep up with it. You didn't keep up with what I'm going to say is an impossible, I'm going to straight up slap that word on it, with what it is that I see that trainers are looking for us to do with our dogs to be able to have what is called a nice dog. It's impossible to keep up with. It's impossible. It's not realistic. There's no reality in it. And playing all these games all day and sticking up with all these games all day and always constantly allowing the dog to keep pushing you to find that new high prize motivating thing, because every day and every week it's going to start being a new thing. So one thing is going to work one day, and then the next day it's like, oh, that's not good enough. So then you're back to square one. And then you're just constantly doing that over and over and over. It's an impossible task to defeat. It's just not going to happen. And that's why you got people out here that are called the whole side of the balance side of the training. Because I don't only rely on the treats, I also rely on the pressure. Now you sound very much more confused, in my opinion, with doing that. Because since that wasn't working, now you're going to this direction, as opposed to doing the correct method of balance, right? Using both together as one. So now you just sound like a positive trainer or a force trainer. So where are we here? And that's where things are getting very, very complicated. Because if the treats aren't working, then we go to pressure. If the pressure's not working, then where do we go? That's something that I don't think a lot of people are putting together here. And someone's going to say, oh, the science says this and it does this, and it's just show, please. I'll shut the heck up. I'll stop making another video tomorrow if you just show it to me. Show me. Show me all these trainers that only use treats and toys, and show me their dog in public. Because you guys show me your dogs in public, and they don't look like anything that any of us should be paying attention to on how to get a nice looking dog. That's just all that I see. That's all that I constantly keep seeing over and over and over. All I want is I just say, show it to me. And that's something that the folks just aren't able to do. They got their videos with their dogs inside of the house, petting the dog over and over and over, talking about how great of a trainer they are and how great the treats are. You're giving the dog everything that it wants. The dog is not going to be disagreeable at all because the dog is pushing your buttons and it's taking from you everything. And that's not the way that all of us want to live on this planet. We don't want to be pushed around by a dang-on dog at the end of the day. And I'm not going to be pushed around by no human being. And I know there's a lot of human beings on this planet that do not want this. And they're running into that, and that's why you're running into so much frustration. Because you're, for one, not used to people pushing you around. And now you got a dog doing it? It's irritating the all can be heck out of you. It's just frustrating you. But the people that are just making the videos, just petting the dog and talking about how great it is, they're fine with being pushed around. They're fine with just everybody just telling them what to do, how to do, where to go, how to dress, how to speak, how to shut up and just sit there and be quiet. They like that. They're cool with that. They may not like it, but they just accept that. And that's not even the majority of us human beings on this planet. But yet we're trying to listen to the advice of these people that are I don't like using these words, but it just is what it is. Pushovers that allow everyone to just push through them. They have no voice to really speak. I don't want to say love it, but they just deal with that. And we're listening to them, taking advice on how to be able to effectively communicate to a dog that is pushing us around. And that's where I think we are all having a lot of problems. We're having problems because we're listening and doing things that are foolishness with giving you real world results. Get the games out of the real life and go straight to real life. And if you don't understand what real life is, simply grab a leash, simply grab a dog, and simply just have the dog there with you. Stop petting the dog. Stop even looking at the dog. Stop interacting with the dog and allow the dog to come to you. When the dog comes to you, now I can say, hey, good looking boy, you're nice, you're nice. Now we're done with stage 1. Now we can move on to stage 2. Get a leash, get a dog, and go to your front door and just stand there until the dog calms down. Once the dog calms down, now we've finished another stage. Now we can take a step out the door. When you take a step out the door, you're going to be there for a while again. You're going to go on to find you a leash. You want to find you a dog. And you want to find you a human being, yourself, and stand there until that dog calms down. And once that dog calms down, now we can move on. But the main thing is, stop giving the treats, stop giving the praise, stop giving the toys, and stop putting games into this. Just live and just be and just enjoy. Just be happy with where you are and enjoy the process of where you go. I'm going to tell you this right now, that I enjoy much more the process than just being where I am. That's why for me, I look at my shepherd and I kind of got bored with him because I don't even need to speak to the dude when we're out. I don't even need a leash. We just go, he moves, we flow, we make stuff happen, and it's boring at that moment. But now I got a whole new interesting thing of getting him to teach my Dalmatian how to do what he does. And it's fascinating now because now I'm back in that process again. So you want to be in that, you want to enjoy that process because there's going to come a time of day that it's just, you're just hanging out and you're relaxing, you're not having to do too much. And that's when it really can get boring in reality. For not everybody, some people like you would just love to have where my shepherd is and just have him and just, this is it. I wish I could have this for 15 years or 50 years. You know, some people are that way, but most of us in reality aren't. That's why we do what we do on this planet. We're constantly progressing. We're constantly challenging ourselves. We're constantly going for more. We're constantly going to a new school so we can get more skills, to be able to be more profitable, to be able to have more knowledge, to be able to do more. We're always about more. And that's what I think is so neat about the dogs. And when we stop focusing on that process and thinking that I want to do this trickaroo to try to say even get it faster, because that's what a lot of this stuff does. It gets it looking appear to be faster, but it's not actually faster. Then you're missing out on the whole thing of how to be able to just do a simple thing on this planet, which is 1, calm down, and 2, be able to just effectively communicate to something that doesn't know your language, that doesn't know even nothing about you. Got all kinds of camera issues going on today. But the main thing I won't even say again is simplify, simplify, simplify. Simplify what we're doing to be able to make sure that we're going to be able to have the success that we want. Simplify, simplify. Y'all good? Y'all good. Because sometimes when you try to do all the trickery, it's not really going to give you what you thought you wanted in the end. And most of the time, that's just the way that it is. And when we just be real, when we just be authentic, that's when you're going to be able to get the real success that you're looking for. And that's why for me, I don't know what it is. That's why everything I try to do is just a representation of who I am, Mark Anthony DuBose Jr. No trickery, no lies, no manipulation, no deceitfulness, no cut, stitch, edit, no none of that. Just straight up, just what I am, what I'm all about. I got crazy stuff going on. I just allow it to happen because this is real. It's real life. Real life isn't so pretty. It isn't so awesome. It takes me longer to say what I got to say because it's not just stitched and edit to make it be a certain way. No, I'm just putting it all out there. So it's just open and just available for everyone to just be able to see what real is, what it's really like to hang out with my dogs, with what I'm doing, and what they really look like, how they really act, how they act on an everyday, all the time. The real stuff, not the fake stuff. And that's something that, again, I just don't see often. I don't see much of any of it in reality on this YouTube stuff anymore. Everything is so staged to look a certain way, to be a certain way, making sure that every single distraction is spoken for so that the dogs never fail, they never mess up, they always look good, to try to make yourself look better than what you actually are. And that's why you hear me, get down, hey, get off that, hey, be quiet, hey, move over there. It's because it's the reality of it. You're constantly working. And you will get to a point that you don't have to speak so much, but you're constantly working. And you're going to constantly keep working There's no just overnight quick fix, it's all done. But the main thing is, if you want to be able to have that there's no set it and forget it, but that way of being able to do everything in real life, stop the games. The games, stay on the game field. But the games on the game field, it's fake. It's not going to give you the real stuff that you're going to have in real life. Just know that what you see in the game field is in the game field alone. And then in real life, you're in a whole different situation here. You're not going to have those that same stuff happening in real life. And that's where I think most people are getting most frustrated, because you're expecting that. You're expecting that if I train the dog in the game field, that it should know everything and it should be good to go. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. That's why I just know that there's facts out here and there's lies out here and there's just manipulation out here. And there's one thing that I want to just be able to explain and be able to show to people, the realness, the facts, the realness, and explain the lies, and be able to teach you a little bit about the manipulation, but not be one to show you how to use manipulation to be able to get what you want. No, man, just be real, and you're going to get way better results at the end of the day. And that's a lesson to not only about dogs, but if you be real to everyone around you, stop the manipulation and stop the lies, and you're going to watch how all your relationships around you are going to flourish. Real life stuff don't work right. You're going to notice that when you stop manipulation, you stop the lies, you're going to be able to have something absolutely great come to you in your life. And that greatness is going to be something that a lot of people are going to want to be able to figure out how to be able to flock to be able to get more information. And that's why for me, I know a lot of times when I speak, people listen. And I greatly appreciate that. It's because I'm not trying to even take nothing from you. I'm not trying to get nothing from you. I'm not trying to gain something from you. I'm who I am. I don't need someone to say, hey, I like that. That was a good video. I learned a lot from it. That doesn't make me better. It makes you better, because you saw something to be able to get into a better place. I don't need that. You need that. And that's why for me, I always want to just portray real. And that's why for me, I have to start talking about dogs again today, because that's what I see out here is lies and manipulation. And I want people to get back to the real. Get to the real stuff, and you're going to have real results. Anyone, at any moment, any day, could come here to take a look at my dogs. I could take them for a walk somewhere just so you can see how they look, and I can show you what the real is. My dogs, not someone else's, because again, I can make anyone else's dog look really good in the moment, but mine, that I live with, that I work with, that I'm always in relationship with, that my dogs, mine. That's what I want to see from more people. That, again, just show us so that we know what we're going to get ourselves into. When I say to do nothing and to hang out with your dog, you're going to be able to have a dog that you don't need to worry so much about every little thing everywhere you go. You're just going to be able to go and be able to hang and be able to relax and be able to make stuff happen. You're not going to need a toy. You're not going to need treats. You're not going to need nothing but just you, because I want you to be the prize in your dog's eyes. You are that prize. That's how all my dogs look at me, like I'm the world, except for my Dalmatian. We're working on that. She's new to me. At some point, give me a year with that, and I'll say something completely different. But even from today, compared to where we started, we're already in a completely different situation. And that's why for me, I'm not going to rush this. I take time, and I want everyone to know it takes time. But when you're real, I'm telling you, you're going to see something absolutely amazing. You're not going to have any choice. You're going to watch it week by week, starting to get better and better and better. But when you're lying and using manipulation, you're struggling, and that's why you're struggling, because that's what you're doing. Thank you.